So what I'm doing is purging the blue and the silver to get a nice extrusion. So you should see, well, I don't know if you can see it, but the extrusion is half blue and half silver. And because I don't quite have the retraction settings dialed in, what happens is that the one or the other that you're not printing with will jam up. So let's print a different file. So I'm going to try the candy bowl, and we're going to do the back and forth extrusion. So it'll go from 50-50 mix of blue silver. And then it will do the bottom layers in that, and then it will switch over to, I think it's pure blue, and transition to silver, and then back to blue, and back to silver, back to blue. And we'll leave it 198 degrees. See how that turns out. Hopefully, you can see here I plugged in the laptop with Cat5 cable instead of streaming over Wi-Fi. So hopefully the audio and the video are not quite so glitchy as they were the other day. Let's see if it'll print. Put a little skirt around it. Is it printing? Of course not. It's just wadding up on the hot end. Sorry. This is still too far away. Dear Lord. Lone Star. Alright, we'll probably end up restarting this again. Stop. Yes. Ah. Okay, well, it's got two more, then it'll stop. Let's go over to Pronto Face. Come on. There we go. Get that off of there. Throw a little more glue stick on. Because maybe I hadn't gotten it out here where the bowl is going to print. Oops. Nope. All right. That file. All right. Trying it again. Ah, howdy. Hey, Sean. Yeah, it's got sound. Got the crazy extruder sounds of the Zone Star. Let's see if we can get a first layer to repeat. So yeah, I put a Cat 5 cable on here instead of streaming with Wi-Fi. Oh. Yeah, we can talk. I'm tired. I've been working in the yard all day, working on my wife's barn. Hey, there we go. Getting something out. Now, does that look like a proper mix? I don't know. It's got a little bit of both in it. Looks like it's properly squished down this time. Maybe a little too close. Yep. That one down. That one down. That one down a smidge. Okay. Look at the extruder up here. I'm gonna go get a toothbrush. There. Mm. I see it's moving the filament a little bit. Hopefully it's not just grinding away. I'm probably fiddling with this, messing everything up. Okay. Are we getting silver and blue through there? Hard to tell. No, it's PLA. It's Prusa silver. Oh, the green. Yeah, all of these pieces, then they're green, are PETG. That's inland PETG. And this one, I was going to print the dragon, but I had kind of a jam with the silver, so I'm going to try the bowl, my little bowl print. I don't have one out here. Oh, I do have one out here. Make sure that's kind of going. I'm going to snip off that end that's sticking up back there. Come here, you. Here. So basically, this is one of these little candy bowls. And that one's printed in translucent PA. They turn out pretty nice, and you can stack them together. Make great small parts bin, holding bins. Let's see. Yeah, right there. Yeah. Okay. So we got Apocalypse, Rover, Home from Skewed View. Cool. Let's see if this. I think we'll have to stop and start over again. This. Does not look like it's pushing anything through there. Damn it. All right. Let's stop that. Oh, cool. An inland magenta PETG. I bet that looks sweet. Okay, flip over to plotter face. Come on. So this is the problem that I've been running into with the Cyclops hot end, is if you get back pressure on the thing, it tends to, one of the other filaments tends to get imbalanced, and it backs up in the nozzle, and then the extruder skips and just starts chewing through stuff. So the way this works is it comes down and goes into each other horizontally, so you can't really do a cold pull. The only way to, if it gets clogged or stuck, you have to do you have to pull the nozzle off and then extrude a bunch of stuff to get it cleaned out. So I can just pull this back and take a look at it. And oh yeah, it was chowing down on the filament pretty nice. Snip that off. So yeah, the filament wasn't really going anywhere. There's the skip from earlier. I don't know why. Alright, so feed that back in there. Clean it out with the toothbrush. Little tweezery action here. Put that down in there. Okay. Give it a tool 7 command. Make sure the hot end's hot. It had already shut down. Well, that's heating back up. Get all the our stuff off of there. All right. What do we got? 129, 130. I can't watch chat while I'm running Pronderface. Sorry. Oh. All right. Coming back up to temp, 155. See if you guys can. Yeah, you get a pretty good view of the hot end there. Yeah, you'll be able to see it spewing its stuff out. All right. See you later, Sean. Have a good night. All right. Are we up? We're at 179. Almost there. Yeah, 191, that's close enough. Okay. Now, seeing a glob of crapola that's stuck to the hot end. But the extrusion looks half blue and half silver from here. Yeah. So, okay, they're not bound up, free extruding. So that's good. All right. Come on, stop. Okay. We'll try and print the bowl. The bowl's easier because once it gets done with the bottom, it's all vase mode, and so it's a little easier to print without it failing. All right. Now that that's going, we'll get back over so I can see the chat. Hey, Red Light. Thanks for subscribing. Okay. 2 more degrees on the heat bed and we should be going. There we are. All right. Now, is this gonna behave itself? Okay, now we've got blue on top, and then when it goes back the other way, right, we've got silver on the top. You guys can't see it from that side, but once this gets done and goes out of there, if you look at the back line down here, it's blue on top because the blue is coming through this PTFE tube that's near you. So when the head's moving away, making movements away from the camera, the blue ends up on top and that layer looks more blue. And then on its way back, the silver ends up on top. So that layer ends up looking more silver. This printer is a Zone Star Z5 MR2, but somewhat modified because it was missing parts and had bad wiring and everything else as it came out of the box. So, and the hot end leaked like a sieve, and the extruders. So I've modified the extruders so that they sit at an angle on the frame. Because the way they had them mounted, the filament path was either straight vertical or had to have the PTFE tube sticking straight out. It was weird. Anyway, so I made some little modifications and I changed the extruder gears. You're going to be upside down. This is weird. So I changed the extruder gears over to the Mark 8 style instead of being just a straight gear. And put a E3D Cyclops hot end on it to fix the leaking hot end problem. Okay, and we are rocking 2 colors right there. So as it's moving away from you, this line right here is dark blue, and as it gets over here and starts moving back towards the camera, it gets more silver. And that's the toothpasting problem that everybody talks about. Because the filament, no, I didn't say that. The filament, when it comes out of there, find one. Filament, when it comes out of there, if I can show you this, maybe it'll focus. So one side of it's blue. I turn around. The other side of it's hard to see, silver. So they don't really mix. The colors don't really mix. They just come out in very thin layers and lay next to each other. It does make cool effects. Like both of these filaments are very opaque, but if you put an opaque like the silver with a translucent filament, not only do you get the color shift from the layers and the mixing ratio, but you also get this interesting effect of being able to see into the layer, kind of. You know what I mean? So you'd have a translucent layer with an opaque layer, you know, sandwiched all the way up the print. It's kind of cool. I think I did 3. So these are, yeah, it's a 0.4 nozzle, but I'm doing a 0.35 layer height and a 0.8 extrusion width. So it's big, fat layers. And I'm only printing, well, I'm printing the first layer at 15 millimeters a second. I think so. So it's pretty slow, but then it speeds up. It's 40 millimeters. Outer perimeters are 20. All those other speeds are set to 40. Not really. The toothpasting doesn't change with temperature. It's basically that there's a lack of swirling of the two filaments. So on a print like this one, where it's all vase mode and it's continuous movement, you'll get very even layers depending on which direction it's going. So I believe this is going to circle around the part. That'll end up that the top layer will end up mostly blue, but when it's traveling on the back side back towards the camera here, the silver will end up on top. So that this side of the bowl will have more silver in it. This side will have more, the front side will have more blue in it, or this side will have more silver and that side will have more blue. Whatever. It doesn't really change with temperature, but the one thing, because this is a single heater with 2 filament paths coming in, you have to pick filaments that are really, really close to the same thermal properties. Because like yesterday, I tried the silver with Protopasta's Galactic Empire Purple. And the Protopasta I normally print at 205, which is also fine for what I print this Prusa silver at. But I think because the one is a HTPLA, it has different melt properties than the Prusa filament. So what I was getting was that the Prusa filament seems like it was softer in the melt than the Protopasta was. The Protopasta has a little bit more stiffness. It's I don't know what the proper term is for it, but even when it's melted, it's a thicker plastic. Like PETG is harder to push through the nozzle than regular PLA is. And so if you get something like that, then what happens is I have it set to do retracts on tool switches, but the one that's the stiffer one will retract a little bit, and the flowier one will kind of push into the cavity where the stiffer one is, because it's more soft.